Hi guys, welcome to Argen Online, an all-time first for us, but we're facing global times and challenges that we haven't faced before. Hope you and your families are well, and while we don't know how long it will be before we get back to normality, in the meantime we want to stay safe, we want to care for those around us, and we want to make the most of this challenging situation. This time last week we were talking about Jesus, the Great Shepherd, and isn't it great to know the truth of his love and protection and his presence with us and the peace that he brings. And I hope and pray that we would all know God's strength in and through that at this time. Tonight we're going to be talking about Jesus, the great servant, and how serving others is a great thing to do. And you're going to love the challenge that I got for you tonight. And so whether you pause this video or do it later, I want to encourage you to make a tea or coffee for someone in your house tonight. And then maybe get them to sit down and join in the conversation as we go through. I got a question for you. Who do you think is the greatest singer? Stop and discuss that for a moment. I'm guessing there'll be differences of thoughts in your household. Who's the greatest footballer? Some of you might not care. Others of you might have very clear thoughts. Who's the greatest Disney character? And maybe a bit more in some of your streets is who's the greatest YouTuber? Everyone's got different thoughts on these things, and you can chat that through amongst yourself. No fighting though. But if I was to ask who is the greatest person that's ever walked this earth, I wonder what people would say. I'm absolutely convinced that it was Jesus. The miracles that he did, the way that he taught, the way that he treated people, the things that he did. He came to show us the way to live and the way to eternal life. In Mark 10:45, it says that Jesus, the Son of Man, didn't come to be served, but to serve and to give his life as a ransom for many. In Matthew 14, verses 13 to 21, we read of him feeding 5,000 people. He had compassion on them because they were hungry. In John 5, verses 1 to 9, we read of him helping a man who couldn't walk. And we could spend a lot of time mentioning many stories Jesus helped people in their lives and situations. Maybe you can pause the video and have a look at some of those verses for yourself. And after all these amazing things that Jesus did, in John chapter 13, we read something really strange. He's done all these amazing miracles. He's renowned throughout that part of the world for all that he had done and said. And he and his disciples were sat down for a meal, and it was customary in those times to have people's feet washed before they sat down for food. But there doesn't seem to be anyone around. So Jesus, in John 13, verses 4 to 17, gets up from the meal and wraps a towel around his waist and pours water into a basin and began to wash his disciples' feet, drying them with a towel that was wrapped around him. He came to Simon Peter, who said to him, "Lord, are you going to wash my feet?" And Jesus replied, "You do not realize now what I am doing, but later you will understand." "No," said Peter, "you shall never wash my feet." Jesus answered, "Unless I wash you, you have no part with me." Then Lord, Simon Peter replied, "Not just my feet, but my hands and my head as well." Jesus answered, "Those who have had a bath need only to wash their feet. Their whole body is clean, and you are clean, though not every one of you." For he knew who was going to betray him, and that was why he said not everyone was clean. And when he had finished washing their feet, he put on his clothes and returned to his place. "Do you understand what I have done for you?" he asked them. "You call me teacher and Lord, and rightly so, for that is what I am. Now that I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also should wash one another's feet. I have set you an example, that you should do as I have done for you. Very truly I tell you, no servant is greater than his master, nor is a messenger greater than the one who sent him. Now that you know these things, you will be blessed if you do them." In this, he calls us to follow in his footsteps, to follow his actions, to put his words into practice, to treat others as we would like to be treated, and to love one another. What a great message for the time that we're in. So here's the big challenge. Take some time to think of those that are serving us right now, the doctors, the nurses, the government, all those that are discussing and seeking to solve this coronavirus situation. Think of the people that are in need right now. There's people facing the virus themselves or a loved one with it, whether it's worries with job or just anxious of how long it's going to be before things settle to some kind of normality. And let's think what things we can do to play our part in making a difference in and through this situation. Whether that's helping around the home, whether that's praying for those in need, and thinking of practical things that we can do to help those around us. Sharing the love and peace that only Jesus can bring in these times. I hope you've enjoyed this short time together and that you had some fun discussing the greatest singers and Disney characters, and that someone enjoyed a nice tea or coffee tonight. Well, keep an eye on our Facebook page and our website for more details. And if you've got any ideas or ways in which we can support one another, connect, and share ideas of how to get through this time together, then email me at chris.screen@lifewellchurch.org.uk. I look forward to hearing from you. Meanwhile, stay safe and God bless.